readers. I'm Jason. This is Chapter and Verse, and I am here today to announce this year's incarnation of March of the Mammoths. And March of the Mammoths is a readathon that I created, and I have been, since the beginning, this is the third year we've been doing it, I have been co-hosting with Lukas from A Cruel Reader's Thesis, the channel formerly known as Totally Pretentious, and Alex from Big Al Books. I will link to their announcement videos in the description box below. If you're new to March of the Mammoths, you might be wondering, what is a mammoth and what does it have to do with reading? So a mammoth is any book that is 800 plus pages long, right? So 800, 900, 1,000 pages long, nonfiction or fiction. And we started this readathon as a way to kind of carve out a designated space on the calendar in which those of us here on Booktube can look at our TBRs and finally tackle one or more of those novels, those works of nonfiction that have just felt daunting to us or even impossible to us. It's a designated month for the reading of those books that have just scared us, right, to put it bluntly. Now, the pleasures of reading a mammoth are unique, and they are many, right? They are various. So for starters, characterization and world building often feel richer. Ideas and themes often feel more rangy and ambitious. And in the case of nonfiction, the research is often more exhaustive, resulting in a narrative that is more elaborately constructed and requires more work on the part of the reader to kind of get through it or to sink into it, is maybe a better way of putting it. Now, because of the time that we spend reading a long book, the investment is greater. And the nice thing about that, of course, is that the payoff, when it comes, is much more satisfying somehow. Of course, the flip side to that is that if the payoff isn't there, right, if the book doesn't stick the landing, the disappointment also feels magnified or amplified. That's a risk that we take. That's a risk that we all run when we read a book that big, or really when we read any book. So my words of advice would be to choose your mammoth wisely, right? Be like Indiana Jones at the end of Last Crusade, and don't drink from the cup that's going to turn you into a mummy in the space of 20 seconds, exploding you into dust all over the place. Read the novel or read the work of nonfiction of that substantial length that is going to make your life feel richer somehow, make you feel more expansive inside. That's the point. And that's what these huge books are capable of, frankly. So anyway, join me and Alex and Lukas in the month of March for March of the Mammoths. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on participating and what book or books you think you might read for March of the Mammoths. I say book or books because some people, including Alex, read multiple mammoths during the month. I am an incredibly slow reader, and so I get to one, and I usually don't finish that one in the month itself, which is fine as well. Everybody should know. You don't have to have a channel to participate. If you're just a regular commenter here on Booktube, feel free to join in as well. And but if you do have a channel, look to maybe making 1 or 2 videos on your progress through your books in the month of March. For myself, I'm going to be reading the new Sylvia Plath biography, Red Comet, by Heather Clark, which, as you can see, is massive. I want to say even before the notes at the end that this thing is about 1,000 pages long. So that's going to be my mammoth. I'm looking forward to it. This is one of the highlights of my reading year, and I hope it's one of the highlights of the reading years of many of you. So I will see you guys again very soon. Adios.